Questions is look at it in a perspective that if you go, which is relatively where we are a country not so rich, no? And I think we're still a developing country, and we really need to improve our water quality and quantity in the provinces. River water is really very important for good source of water. Not only that in terms of quality it's good because it's practically rainwater, it costs less. And if it costs less, it's very affordable compared to desalination. So
Yeah,
that's my experience. Thank you.
thank you. I think our industries. So,
No, I'd like to correct that. It's more than 50 now.
I thought it's
So the industry, export processing zone 1, zone 2, most of the hotels and malls, we are directly supplying. And it has also a good impact because the water from the water district, instead of going to this high-end user, goes to the poor. And there are more people that can avail of a much cheaper water, which is primarily sourced from well water. Because until now, the majority, if you've seen, the majority of the water supplied by the water district is well water.
okay. Thank you, Engineer Tompar. Yes, one question from there.
There are now questions about water availability in small islands. Like they're addressing issues of power, off-grid power, now also problem with water. Are there design on desalination process that is our small size, it can be powered by renewable energy? Because this is really of interest right now in research.
A lot of resorts now in Palawan, like Dos Palmas, El Nido, Mampulo, and Holo Mactan, it's primarily desalination already. But if you're talking about supplying through solar, it can be done. We do have already pump manufacturer that also coupled it with solar, but these are small systems, no? Small scales. No? But in terms of supplying the community, there is not much development yet because desalination, as I've mentioned, it's about 2 kilowatt now per cubic meter to 2.5. No? And brackish water is about 1 to 1.5. So there's really an issue yet. So, as I've mentioned always, since this is a river summit, let's try to focus on the river. And desalination, maybe if you wanna, go to tourism and you're catering to the foreigners, we do have already systems that are running, and in fact, most of the systems is we're supplying. Some of them are they just bought system from us, and in fact, our system is even exported now since a lot of businessmen, Filipino businessmen, go out of the country like Papua New Guinea. We are about to deliver a big system there for a fishing industry. So it's really about if you have no water, the seawater is the best option.
Your presentation a while ago discussed about your experiences with the river, particularly in Marilao, because I myself live in Bulacan all my life. I've lived there for most of my life, and then I've seen the degradation of the river itself within 20 years or even 10 years for Marilao and Mekawayan. Actually, I've seen the development and the how polluted it got for the last 10 to 20 years or even 15 years, just 15 years. So my question is, I saw earlier in your presentation that you have a letter, or I don't think, was it addressed to the President for any action for the Marilao River? And then, is there hope for that particular river and maybe the Mactan River also because for my experience, since I passed that river almost every day going to school, I compared to Butuanon right now, because Butuanon, as I can see right now, is just full of physical debris, and I think they can be really easily be cleaned. But for the case of Marilao and Mekawayan rivers, I believe their pollutants are more of a chemical and metallic na, kasi particularly sa Mekawayan, the industry there is more on tanneries and jewelry. Sikat nga po yung Mekawayan for the jewelries. And then my question is there hope in terms of actions right now being, or efforts right now being conducted like that of Butuanon right now? Is there hope for the revival of the Marilao and maybe sometime Mekawayan, based on your experience there on the quality of water?
That's a very good question. That's why I'm here. I asked myself to be invited here because, you know, we lost money there. Kung sa bacon pa, ako to'y baboy. Delivery ninyo probably did not have any stake in it. Because we have a major investment there, and we were hoping that it was well supported. The letter that we're saying, it was addressed to the previous secretary, and then another secretary, which is Gina Lopez, and probably they will write again to Simato. But the issue here, when will the government, you know, act on it? Because, as I've said, probably it will take longer than probably in a shorter river to clean up. Probably a big storm, you know, can do it overnight. No? So it all depends. No? But what we can do is, if you do not pollute it already, and you do not throw garbage, and you manage your wastewater well, instead of throwing what is not allowed to throw, and why not, no? You know, I started there a few years ago, 3 years ago. It was still okay, no? But during summer, I have to stop. Now, even rainy season is bad. Because by dilution, you know, you can still produce good water. Because there's only little that we're down, no? So it's really about, because the national standard for drinking water, whether you like it or not, you can still find mercury, you can still find everything, but that's very little, and we can still drink that. It's all about managing our impurities. Just come up with a standard, and then you're okay. I hope so. But at any rate, that's an international standard, no? Because you cannot find really pure water. But in issues of reviving well water, it's really very remote for us to, you know, especially Philippines, especially Cebu. That's why I was pointing out, Cebu right now, we have a well that we used to do bulk water for Metro Cebu Water District. We have to stop it because of that, no? The nitrates coming from people's septic tank is already down there, no? And how can you clean that? So we have to be very strong, make sure that our voices here will be heard by no less than our president, not just Simato. I don't know, this guy Simato can really deliver, but I'm telling you, I think the president, what he did in Boracay was really very good example for us to, you know, implement in rivers that we can very well, especially Marilao, because I can get back my money there. Thank you. 888. Now we need help here. We need the rivers clean and maintained clean and supply the poor more people. You know, water. They say 80% of our ailments come from water. No? And the number 3 or number 4 budget in the national government, the high, very high, is health. They can reduce that by improving water supply, improving quality. I'm not the only one doing this. You know, Manila Water is doing that. They have more money than me, you know. But you know, we really have to be very serious. You know, Cebu is now supplied by Carmen River. We do not like that Carmen River will be polluted, no? So what I'm saying is, let's wake up. Text today, 888, was that 888? Text the president. And I know he will hear it. I know. So how many are we here? 300? And then you influence others and do it. Thank you very much.
Some action plan?
I think the problem with our rivers cannot be solved by technology alone. I mean, it should be a multidisciplinary approach. I mean, if we only use engineering solution, that will not solve, because people will be. I mean, for example, if you look at Butuanon River, along the banks there are many people who are living. So how can you solve that problem? So it must be a concerted effort by engineers and even by social scientists.
Thank you. So that's a very good.
This other, but when they go out to the field, to the barangay, they hardly know what's actually happening.
That's right. Climate change, they say. Go on.
For me, many LGUs would say we need budget, but we did not need budget to pollute the rivers. So why we need budget? So I think it has to be. I mean, for example, the local government units, they have this AIP, the Comprehensive Development Plans, Annual Investment Plan. Normally, these figures are indicative. So, as long as they are serious in the particular planning exercise, and then the leadership also would like to, you know, seriously implement the AIPs, then I think that's one step, only one step, because this is a very complicated problem. So that's all.
Thank you, Noel.
For me, I am a groundwater hydrologist, so I will focus my recommendation on water resources. So we all know that water is vital for socio-economic activities, especially here in Cebu. So utilization of river water is a very good practice to preserve our groundwater resources. We have two seasons here in the Philippines. We have rainy seasons and dry seasons, wet and dry, right? So during rainy seasons, we have more water. So the advanced technology in storing water, this is used by Australia, is to pump the excess water in the rivers and then put it underground. And then during the dry season, you can pump it out to use it for water resources, so that the water supply will be balanced all throughout the year.
So it's about water management.
Water management, yes.
We do have a lot of water, but during summertime we lack water. So there is an imbalance, and we go in between. We need to provide storage.
It is called MAR, or the Managed Aquifer and Recovery, MAR technology.
Good. Engineer Angko?
Actually didn't have the chance to show my
This is your chance. This is your chance.
So I'll give my recommendations, and it will be on it's more on master planned approach in managing the factors that generate and exacerbate flood. We don't build where we're not supposed to build, and we protect the downstream communities from the risk of flood. If you want more, I think you can download our slides after this, so just refer to our slides.
Thank you very much. Yeah. As I have said, you have an opportunity to interact with them after this. And so let's give our speakers a round of applause.